Here we are, about a week after the launch of Black Ops Cold War. So what I did is I went to my puppy, Dexter, and asked him what he thought of Black Ops Cold War launching.
What do you think of Black Ops Cold War coming out? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah?
And his thoughts were pretty conclusive. He was wondering, who are the characters that are returning from previous Call of Duty games? And I thought this was a pretty good question and that we could make a video out of it, so here we are today. Now, if you guys didn't know, I do have a second channel, and actually today I uploaded like my first vlog with Dexter over there. It'll be linked down in the description at the end of the video if you guys want to check it out. But as for this video, we are following Dexter's request, and we're going to be going over all of the different characters that were in previous Call of Duty games that were added into this game. And there's actually a lot more than you think. Like right away, the big ones that come to mind are like Hudson and Woods and the other Black Ops characters. But we have characters from Modern Warfare. We have characters that aren't actually in the game, but different characters talk about them. And I thought I would go over all of them in one video. Now, this is kind of like the story videos that we've been doing on the channel that you guys have really been enjoying. On the last video, I asked for 20,000 likes. You blew that right the hell out of the water. So if you enjoy these type of story videos, you want to see more of them, just hit that like button. It really does help with the channel. Let's aim for 15,000 likes on this video. That would be insane. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and without further ado, let's follow the pupper's request, and here are all of the returning characters in Black Ops Cold War. So let's start with the obvious ones right away. So in one of the very first missions, we get to see Hudson as another character in Black Ops Cold War. He is the handler of essentially all of the characters for the CIA. So for Adler, for Woods, for Mason, and even for Bell, he is the character in charge of all of them. And the biggest thing that I noticed in this game is Hudson's a total jerk. When you go and ask him questions, he is just not that nice to you. Now, for the rest of the video, there's going to be spoilers. This is your spoiler warning. But when you go talk to him as Bell, he does not like Bell. Now, we later find out that's because Bell is essentially an old Perseus agent who has been literally mind-controlled to work for the CIA, and Hudson essentially doesn't trust him.
Hold on. Make it quick. I'm busy. I'm not in the business of discussing my personal views on team members to subordinates. Anything else?
But even as you talk to other characters, they describe his personality as literally a wet towel. After this, we have Mason. Mason is an interesting character in this game because you actually play as him a couple of times. In the very first mission with Woods and Adler, and then later, Woods and Mason actually go to Mount Yamantau, a section or a mission that you go to in Black Ops 1. And at this time, once again, playing as Mason, you experience and see some numbers flash on your screen, clearly showing you that Mason is still a little brainwashed. Later in the mission, you can find a locked cabinet, which if you find the keys for, you can unlock. At this time, inside the cabinet, you find a picture of Steiner, the doctor that Mason assassinates at the very end of Black Ops 1, thinking that he is Reznov. So I guess you could kind of say Steiner comes back a little bit in this game as well. Now at this time, Mason once again sees the numbers, making us believe that Mason is still a little bit messed up in the head. Now, one question that this game doesn't answer is at the beginning of Black Ops 2, you find out that before the year of 1986, Mason actually retires from the CIA. Now, we don't know why, because at the end of Black Ops Cold War, he's still working for them. So where there's Mason, there is always Woods, and this game is no different. Woods once again returns. The thing with Woods in this game is there's actually a lot of other characters tied to him in this game. So first of all, in the interview that we're listening to, you can actually ask Mason and Woods about how they ran into the fake Fidel Castro back in Black Ops 1.
So yeah, Castro and I have some history between us. I had the opportunity to off the man, but our intel was flubbed. That sent a tidal wave of shit all the way up to DC. So if I find out that Perseus is in cahoots with Castro, and Hudson happens to find one of my bullets in Fidel's head, well, I say chalk it up to collateral damage.
Huh. Kept it under 5 minutes. I was expecting a diatribe.
Honestly, one of my favorite parts about this game is the interaction and banter between Mason and Woods. It's something that I wish there was more of in this game. But actually, later in the game, you do find out that Castro does come into play when you go in the mission on Cuba. Now, on top of this, in the mission in Moscow, when you go to the KGB headquarters playing as Belikov, you go to the big table of all the head Russian advisors, and sitting there is none other than Kravchenko. Now, this is incredibly interesting because at the end of Black Ops 1, Woods jumps out out of a window with Kravchenko, a grenade goes off, and both of them are seemingly dead. Now, as we know, that's definitely not the case. He's in this game, he's in Black Ops 2, and also Kravchenko is in Black Ops 2 as well. To this date, it is never explained to us how both of them survived this explosion, and it was something that I was hoping was going to be in this game, and to this date, it is not. We just know, obviously from this, and obviously from the KGB headquarters mission, that both of them were completely okay after that explosion. So yeah, another character to return in this game is actually a bad guy, Kravchenko.
I am not a patient man, Binikov, or a compassionate one.
Another question that wasn't answered in this game that I was hoping would be is, how does Frank Woods get captured by Raul Menendez in Angola? This is something and how the Black Ops 2 campaign actually starts, and you never find out how it actually happened. So this game, which takes place between Black Ops 1 and 2, I was hoping would explain that, and it doesn't. However, one thing you may have missed is that Raul Menendez does actually return in this game, but not in the campaign. So I actually already made a video in the beta talking about Raul Menendez, but in the map Cartel, it actually tells a story of how Raul Menendez actually took over the cartel from his father after his assassination. Laying on the bed is Menendez's father, assassinated, but as you can see on the wall off to the side, we have a picture of the man himself, Raul Menendez, hanging on the wall. So whereas we don't have any cutscenes or anything like that explaining how he fits with Perseus or the overall story of Black Ops, or how he took Frank Woods for that matter, we do know that he is a part of this game in a very small way. And in fact, this is one of the few ways that Black Ops 2 is thoroughly connected to Black Ops Cold War, is with this map and the inclusion of Raul Menendez. Now, while we're talking about bad guys, you probably are already writing in the comments, why did I skip over this character? Don't worry, I didn't. Still lots of video left. We have Imran Zakhaev. Yes, once again in the KGB mission, while you were sitting at the big round table, Imran Zakhaev is sitting across from you. And as you can see, he is already in with the higher-ups within the KGB and with Russia.
We should restrict bunker access. We also want to cultivate closer relationships with all of you. I want to know your hopes, your fears, your ambitions.
And this fits in with his storyline, working for the Soviet Union before he takes over and starts his own kind of military. Now, I believe that this character deserves his own video and own backstory, so if you want to see something like that, be sure to hit that like button. These videos will continue. Like I said before, let's aim for that 15,000 likes if that's something you want to see. Now, Zakhaev is actually a relatively big part of this mission. You're with him at the round table and later run into him as Bell later in the mission. Now, this is important and important for his backstory, but we'll dive into that in a future video. Now, obviously the inclusion of Imran Zakhaev is to further solidify the crossover between Modern Warfare and Black Ops, and believe it or not, there's actually a lot more in this game that solidifies that than just Imran Zakhaev. Again, I'll have that more in a future video. But here's a little bit of a teaser and another character that I almost guarantee you missed.
The death of Major Vadim Rudnik is a terrible loss for post-nuclear Europe. He was to help shepherd the Soviet-aligned future. Hopefully, we can still move forward without his presence there.
Wait, hold the goddamn phone. Did you hear that? Perseus says that Vladimir Rudnik was supposed to help shepherd with the Soviet-aligned future. And Perseus says this. It's not one of the good guys saying this, and we can only assume that Shepard is General Shepard from Modern Warfare, and now you have to think, is Shepard working with Perseus? Now, it's important to mention that Shepard in the Modern Warfare game isn't mentioned till the very end.
General Shepard pulled the files you asked for. What exactly is this about?
Also, he's one of the oldest people in the Modern Warfare universe, so the timeline would actually make sense that Shepard is already in bed with Perseus and the Soviets. This is a super small reference, but it's really, really telling, and once again, another crossover between Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War. The next one that we have is once again another super small reference, and it's in the KGB mission once again. As you're playing as Belikov, you have the option to poison General Charkov. If you go with this, you have a meeting with him in his office, and you hear him say this.
Go ahead and take a seat. He won't be long.
Yes. No, tell Nikita no one else trusts him either.
Okay, so as you can see by the gameplay, while I was playing through the campaign, I legitimately had to pause the game at this point because I didn't believe what I heard. He calls the person he's on the phone with Nikita, and when you look at the subtitles, it's spelt the exact same way as Nikita Dragovich. This is a character who you literally kill at the end of Black Ops 1. He drowns. He's submerged in a sinking submarine after you strangle him to death. I don't know how Nikita Dragovich could possibly be alive, but I don't know why else they would put this reference with the name spelt exactly that way. Now, I'm sure it's a somewhat common name, but I don't think they would do something like this not on purpose. So it is possible that Dragovich is still alive and that he could be a member of Perseus. To me, out of everyone we're going to talk about today, this is the one I was most surprised by because I thought we killed him at the end of Black Ops 1. What else can I say? We have two more characters left, the first of which is, of course, Weaver. This is one that I didn't cover yet because he is more to do with zombies in this game. I'm not going to go into his whole story in this game with zombies because that's not something I do much on this channel. I've considered it, diving into it more, because in this game it's more related to campaign than zombies ever has been before. But yeah, Weaver makes a return. He was in the campaign in Black Ops 1, and here he is once again in Black Ops Cold War. And then the most confusing one, 100% in my opinion, is Bowman. So Bowman died in Black Ops 1, we know this. This is something that isn't strange, and Bowman doesn't make a return in the game. However, in the reveal for Black Ops Cold War, there was his son, William Bowman, and he was basically the man doing the entire pawn takes pawn Easter egg, and after playing the entire campaign, searching for Easter eggs, William Bowman is nowhere to be found. I can only assume that William Bowman is going to have a major component to play in Warzone, whenever the next era of Warzone is released, probably with the beginning of Season 1. I wasn't going to include him in this video, but I felt like I had to, because he was such a big part of the reveal that we know he is a part of the game, he's just not there yet. So whenever we get more information on that, of course, I will fill you guys in. But ladies and gentlemen, these are all of the characters to return in Black Ops Cold War. Some of them were just mentioned in phone calls. Some of them were in the game that you could play as, but this is all of them. And if I missed any, if there's some little Easter eggs I missed, feel free to let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, it's always appreciated if you hit that like rating. It shows me that you want to see more videos like this one. And as always, if you're new to the channel, like what you see here, want to stay up to date on everything Black Ops Cold War, or want to stay up to date on all these story videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. We're right around the corner from 1 million subscribers, so hit that subscribe if you want to be a part of it. But as always, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard, and I want